MR Crew, with the Biden administration's pretty obvious trial balloon news story on student loan cancellation, I think now is the time to be loud. Oh, yes. Okay. This is a good point. And that's exactly why I want to talk about it. There is a story that came out, was reported at the very least. Shoot, do I have it now? Where was that reported? Shoot.
Looking for it now.
I'm looking at it for my pack. My numbering got all messed up.
Wait, can you tell me what? Well,
report? The story is it was leaked, or at least reported, that the White House is on the verge of attempting to announce that they are going to be promoting a $10,000 worth of student debt relief for everyone who makes, and these are to be clear, this is a trial balloon. It is not real yet. It is in the, is that the Washington Post?
Yes.
And
I can read a little of it if you want, Sam.
Well, $150,000, I've remembered part of it. $150,000 per individual, $300,000 per couple, $10,000 per person in terms of student debt relief. And this is exactly the time to push for more. First off, they say 97% of people who have taken out student loans would get this relief. Now, I know it is tempting to say, okay, well, if the vast majority of people are getting it, then just do it. Here it is. I've got the piece right here. It's the last, of course, document that I had. And it is tempting. I will read this portion. An estimated 97% of all student debt was held by people earning below the threshold of $150,000 per person and $300,000 per couple in 2019. That's according to Matt Brunig, founder of the People's Policy Project. However, there are hurdles to using income to target tax debt relief. The Education and Treasury departments cannot readily share borrowers' tax information, and legislation easing the restriction won't take effect for 2 years. Relying on tax data could also exclude millions of lower income people who do not file taxes but do own student debt. A self-attestation process whereby people would certify their income qualifies could pose challenges for the government to verify the information. Even asking borrowers to apply for forgiveness could limit the reach of the policy. In other words, they are thinking about doing this exclusively because they're afraid of the stories that will exist for 3 weeks saying, here's somebody who makes $250,000 and they got $10,000 worth of tax of student debt relief. Frankly, now, I think the number should be higher. We should be pushing for that. Joe Biden ran on 10,000. So, having expectations that he's going to exceed that. If he was smart, they just do 15,000 so that he could say he could exceed it. And that would be helpful to people. I mean, materially helpful. But the stories that are going to come out, if you do 100% of the people, are going to exist for a couple of weeks, just like we saw with the PPP and this and that, and have not been able to be politicized whatsoever. But you're going to make sure that the policy is effective. And you're not going to have to create a whole new bureaucracy associated with this. You're never going to be effectively able to do this well if you put on this, income ceiling. Yeah. And yes, there will be people who are wealthy who are going to get some student debt relief. It will be largely irrelevant to them. But in terms of, the idea is that for the people who would lose out because of you imposing a means test of some form, and I'm talking about the people who don't file taxes or who couldn't self-attest or wouldn't be able to apply, the cost associated with those people still being burdened by this debt is so much greater to society than the cost associated with a couple of people that some people would perceive as not being worthy or being too rich to get it. It's just a stupid political trap that they'll fall into. And so, yes, call the White House. In particular, call the education department. Call your congressperson and senator and tell them no means testing. That is a huge burden on a simple policy. And do, $50,000 worth of debt relief because you might as well not pre-negotiate with yourself. We'll put a link, to the number of the White House. And people should just slam them with the calls because they put out this trial balloon to see what the feedback's going to be. What they're going to be saying on the news, what they're going to be saying in, how hard Fox is going to come at them and whatnot, and whether that generates anything. Call them and show that there's pushback to that idea.